Radio's In the Know for Friday, March 15, the 75th day of 2024. There are 291 days left in the year. Good morning, NB. Guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter. And the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Get you ready for a busy, big weekend. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Suddenly to my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You know that voice in your head, that little voice in your head that sometimes turns into your little voice out loud that you talk to yourself?
I talk to myself a lot.
The voice in your head says 4,000 words to you every minute.
Wow.
That's your thoughts translated into words as you're thinking, that little voice. 4,000 words per minute, which means faster than an auctioneer. And assuming you're awake for 16 hours, your inner voice does the equivalent of 320 State of the Union addresses every day.
Wow.
Now you know why you're tired.
Yeah, right?
Doesn't that make more sense?
Yes.
Sometimes you just got brain fatigue.
Yes.
It's because that little voice in your head has been working hard all day long. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newswalk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm feeling informed. You know, yesterday you started laughing during the show about the bobblehead fiasco.
Yes,
So
yes.
it was a Yamir Yager that was having bobblehead night, and they were stolen. Not just they didn't fall off a truck.
No. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that was why I was chuckling about it. Is that somebody stole the truck with them on it?
So somebody's holding them for a ransom and going to try and make some money on them. I know who stole them.
I appreciated that one of the top responses to it was the top suspect is this guy, and it was the mascot of the Philadelphia Flyers, Gritty. And
right.
And Christy, if you don't know who Gritty is, just Google him. Gritty is
Okay.
I can't describe to him what he.
Okay.
But it's
He's indescribable.
Gritty from the Flyers, and he is. You'll probably appreciate what he looks like. He looks like somebody who would be a toy for Gertie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kind of looks like if Elmo went on a bender for a weekend.
Okay.
Yes, but doing like
Sorta.
crack cocaine.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I didn't say. What type of bender?
Yes.
I said a bender, but yeah, he's a very
So they said
distinct-looking.
top suspect
fella.
is this guy, and
pretty
it's
good.
like, well, would shock me. He is a little bit. I don't even know the word to describe it.
Well, rolling into the weekend where we're all a little Irish. Thank goodness my bride over there, she's Irish, so I get to kiss her because she's Irish.
We
this
think.
weekend.
I am still waiting on 23andMe.
Oh yeah, you keep getting deferred.
I do.
You must-
I must be really special or really, really, I don't know,
You must have broken.
Irish.
You must have broken 23andMe. You follow my Duggan side, so I go back to England on the Buckle side. But if you can follow at least on the Duggan side, you can go back to Ireland for me. Now, Sam, you've got an Irish last name, but you're of English heritage. Do you think that you're English heritage?
No, I'm both heritage.
Yeah. So you've got Irish?
Yes, because my British heritage is on my mom's side.
Oh, gotcha.
That's
So
not
your
it,
Garmley.
yes.
Your Garmley comes
Yes.
from Ireland.
Gormley's definitely very Irish last name.
It's not Gormley, it's Garmley. Garmley, young Mr. Garmley. I learned today there's a difference. You all need to make a note of this. I learned today there's a difference between Scottish bagpipes and Irish bagpipes.
Okay.
I want the Scottish ones.
Okay.
Okay, so just be aware. The Scottish ones are the ones that I prefer. The Scottish ones are the ones that make you cry. The Irish ones don't really make you cry as much. Scattered showers heading into the St. Patrick's Day weekend. So you have that to look forward to. Did have some, rain showers overnight. We'll kind of backtrack to that in a moment. Scattered showers today, a high of 56. Decreasing clouds, rain overnight tonight, low of 39. Whew, back into the 30s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high of 66. Then 56 for St. Patrick's Day. Then Monday, 43, 54 for the first day of spring, then 59, and then up back into the 60s and upper 50s later on next week. But the first week of spring is going to feel more like last week than this week has felt. So just kind of, you'll have to make do through that. We did avoid here in our neck of the woods the severe weather from yesterday that went through southern Indiana. And then, there's a portion of southern Indiana that is, even though Indiana is north of Kentucky, there's a portion of southern Indiana that's south of northern Kentucky. So when storms move across through southern Indiana, they end up in northern Kentucky, including Trimble County and off in that direction. So the town of Milton got hit pretty hard yesterday there in Trimble County, but there were some, I think 3 deaths in that section of the central United States. Logan County, Ohio got hit. As I mentioned, Trimble County had at least 50 structures that were damaged, maybe even potentially over 100, according to the governor. The governor said it didn't looked like there was some really significant damage in the town of Milton, but they had put other counties on emergency declaration, Carroll, Gallatin, as well as Trimble County yesterday. So we hope they will recover okay. The governor was in E-Town day before yesterday. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But I'm so puzzled. I haven't talked about it on the show, but I've been following what I'll call the saga of Blue Oval, where we've gone from bomb threats in porta potties to active shooters to what's going on? Are people so determined to disrupt progress there at Glendale or Blue Oval that they're making up alleged crimes? I mean,
I don't know.
That community for years and years and years fought off industry moving in. They've been successful for a long time. So I don't know if this is retribution for people saying, we're going to make it as hard as possible for you in the area or what. But
that's really sad if that's the case.
Absolutely, 100. I mean, that's, but it just doesn't make any sense. They get reports of these, they don't find anything. The people they said were blazing guns or something, or at least our report said this morning, those people were shown to be in a meeting at the time that couldn't have done it. So there's something rotten in Denmark over that. Governor Beshear was in E-Town Wednesday, and he was joined by, and I'm sad I didn't know this on Wednesday, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was in E-Town on Wednesday. They were with advanced nanoparts to cut the ribbon on an electric vehicle battery production. It's a $50 million facility with 93 full-time jobs, and it is not Blue Oval SK. So shows you it's other things happening in the space as well. I guess I'd be curious to know how many times a U.S. Treasury Secretary has visited the Commonwealth. Probably not a lot, would be my guess.
Well, wasn't Pete Buttigieg, he was here, I know he's not a Treasury Secretary, he was here, though, in the last 16 months, hasn't he?
Yeah, my guess is we probably have more transportation visits because we're probably on par in the transportation sector. But my guess is, there was one time back in maybe the 60s that there started to be this belief that there was not actually gold in Fort Knox. And so they got a group of Congress people and cabinet people and some members of the media, and they actually said, we're going to prove to you there's he will relentlessly oppose a proposed school choice constitutional amendment. That bill has been moving through the legislature, and he was asked, he said, you don't have veto power over those. A journalist asked him, you don't have veto power over those. And he said, yeah, but I can beat them. I can lobby against them. I can work against them at the ballot box. And if it does make it to a constitutional amendment, it and the constitutional amendments that accompany it are really going to be the only statewide issues we have some federal issues. We've got Congress, congressional offices, and we have obviously the presidency to vote for, although it isn't going to make a difference at all. Even if you did work hard to count all the votes, you know which way the electoral votes are going, and both candidates have already secured enough delegates to get the nomination, so it's kind of a non-starter other than just the pride of going to the ballot box and then casting your vote. However, this school choice thing could be something that engages people, but I fear that your common voter may be as apathetic about this as they are about many things. Even I like to think that I'm relatively educated on issues such as this, but I can't tell you the true differences between a charter school and a magnet school. I think I know the differences between a public school and a private school. And for the sentiment that public tax dollars shouldn't be spent on private schools, I sort of agree with that. You know, I from a political ideology standpoint, you would think I would kind of line up on the legislation side. But if you choose to be private, which means you don't have the scrutiny of the Department of Education, you can set the curriculum that you want, you can charge tuition, you can do anything you want to with a private school within the law, then you shouldn't qualify for public tax dollars. So now, are you going to convince me that a magnet school is a kind of like it's a different type of public school, but it's not private and it's still within the control of the Department of Education? Well, then maybe that's something different, but I don't know enough. So what I just had was, imagine how many people are going to be conflicted not knowing the difference if this is on a constitutional amendment going, do I want this or do I not?
Well, and I done some research, but that's been years ago on charter schools and magnet schools, and I still couldn't really say.
Sam, do you have walking around knowledge of the difference between magnet and charter?
All I know is that if I supported school choice, I'd have to duck because I'd be getting a phone call from one mother, so
Yeah.
who is a retired public educator, and for me it'd be like, why are you voting to take away money from public education when, if we're being honest, they probably don't get enough money to begin with?
So, you know, one of the arguments in there by the supporters of the bill and even the sponsors of the bill are talking about, you know, in underserved areas or with certain minorities, maybe they don't have the same educational opportunities. And I think, you're not trying to convince me that the equivalent of a private school is going to go to these areas, are you? I mean, I don't know. I think it's such a complex issue that I want to do what's best for young people, but I don't know that I buy the talking points that are being shared.
There are some of these private schools that are rolling in money.
Sure.
I mean, you think Louisville Trinity is struggling right now?
I wouldn't think so compared to other private schools,
Yes.
but I also don't know the current economic condition of schools.
Yeah, it's just more of when you look in like Jefferson County, you see Louisville Trinity, and then you go see like Shawnee, or we were at Moore, or some of those other schools in the Louisville area. How can you tell me that Trinity deserves the money more than Moore?
Was it just day before yesterday that Danville Christian made their first appearance in the Sweet 16?
It was last night
It was last night
against
they
the
were.
Cooper Lady Jacks.
Okay, all right. I'll get to that in a moment, and we'll talk more about that. But what's interesting is that I heard an interview yesterday afternoon at halftime was talking about it's their first appearance. Well, the reason it's their first appearance is because they haven't been to school very long. But
5 years, I think?
Yeah, it shows you where people are migrating to. And if you want to support a private school, great, do it. But there are pros and cons to that. And I'm just not so sure that the broad tax dollars need to get funneled there. It just seems to be contradictive to what the intent was. But again, I'll go back to the very beginning. I'm not an expert and would have to get more educated on it. Now, this one I can understand a little better. I do understand the wheels on the bus go round and round. The Senate passed a school van bill, and it allows for schools to be practical and use 9-passenger vans to haul students to and from school when needed, but also extracurricular activities, golf team, smaller teams, etc. I will be now these new 9-passenger setups. They have to be inspected every 30 days, etc. But what I am more interested in knowing, I don't want to throw any shade at teachers, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's some teachers that aren't good drivers. By percentage,
There has to be.
there are at
right.
least the same number of bad drivers in that profession as there is in most any other profession. But so currently, the people who haul our students are trained with commercial driver's licenses. They do safety training. They understand a big yellow school bus doesn't necessarily fit certain places, etc. Right? Miss Shirley is a safe driver.
I was just thinking of her exactly.
And not just because I know her, but because she has a long, long track record
Yes.
of proving her ability to transport precious cargo.
Now I'm thinking about the pies.
Now, I had a driver's ed teacher, which I thought
Yes.
pretty good driver if you're teaching it. But now I had some other teachers that I wouldn't get behind the wheel of a car in
Like who?
with. I'll make a short list during the break and we'll talk about it.
I think well, you said some are coming to mind right now. I mean, is there not one or two that you want to just mention?
I'll
Like,
just tell you, since it's Friday, I'll tell you, I would have not gotten a car with Sonia Dubinick. All right?
I don't know who
Okay.
that is. You could have just made that name up,
Exactly.
and I had no idea.
But if you know, you know. See, there are some people that just chuckled and went, yeah, he's right. I hope Leanne's with us this morning.
I think she is.
All right, good. She'll get it. So anyway, I like this idea. I think it's practical. You shouldn't have to operate a big school bus to haul 2 kids.
I'm trying to remember. You mentioned golf team, and I was covering a golf event in the last year or two, and whoever they were playing did this. It might have been Ohio County.
Really? Well, it's interesting. And maybe the difference is you still have to have a CDL, like if a bus driver drives a smaller bus, oh yeah, she knows, then it just, I notice it when, say, Owensboro Catholic comes to town. They use smaller buses because they have a smaller student body.
Whitesville
Bethel
Trinity?
Christian Academy.
Bethel, yeah.
They use the smaller one. It just, and those are actually buses. These school vans would be even smaller than that. Seems to make sense to me. All right. I just kind of skipped the national headline. James Crumbly, who was the other parent involved in the school shooter in Michigan. The mother was found guilty a couple of weeks ago. He was found guilty yesterday. We'll look back with this legal precedent. In the future, we will
Right.
look back and see this was a change in the way those things were handled. The Sweet 16 was yesterday, and Bethlehem started the day. Did the Fighting Baby Jesuses win, Sam?
They did. Maybe a little bit of an upset.
Yeah. Okay. And then I noticed Henderson came back.
Yep, Owensboro was up early, and Henderson came back and won. That was a close game, maybe 2 points. What was the final score? I enjoyed getting to
Yeah, so
listen to that.
41-39, something
Yeah.
in that range, yeah.
And then the third game was between the number 1 team in the state and the number 3 team in the state, and the Sacred Heart pulled away late to defeat GRC. They were looking for their 4th straight title. And then the nightcap, Cooper survived against Danville Christian. Danville Christian has their best player 6'4",
Wow.
and Cooper had, like many girls basketball teams in the state of Kentucky, had no answer for 6'4", but luckily hung on in the end.
I also failed to mention during our private school versus public school debate a moment ago, there is the aspect of recruiting that private schools get to enjoy that
No, they
public
don't.
schools
They don't do that.
not.
Like, don't do that.
well, I
they
mean,
don't.
just,
like that's against
they
the
just
rules
got-
in KHSAA.
They just got lucky in Danville and found a 6'4" lady who can play basketball. Lucky for them. So were you rah-rah sisk boom buying over Cooper winning last night?
Yeah, I was really excited. They got Henderson County now in the late game today as well, so hopefully they could do that and then maybe set up a rematch with Sacred Heart. They've played them twice this year, so hopefully the Lady Jags could maybe cut down some nets on Saturday.
Very good. All that coverage available starting at 9:45 today on the Moose. SEC tournament, UK and Texas A&M tonight. Selection Sunday coming up on Sunday. It's going to be an exciting weekend for basketball. Got to get to a break. Come back with more. here on In the Know.
What do you call someone who puts your family's interests ahead of their own? Someone who takes time to listen without rushing you or passing judgment. Someone you can count on to help guide you through one of life's most difficult times. At Watkins Funeral Home, we call someone like that a friend of the family. For families making funeral arrangements in Litchfield, there's only one thing you need to know. You've got a friend at Watkins Funeral Home. For more information, visit us online at rogers-watkins.com.
Everybody get ready, time to start a new day. Let's hit the ground running in a healthy way. Take a first step to fitness, even if it's just a little. Soon you'll be feeling just as fit as a fiddle. Fit as a fiddle on a July night. Or walk around town, make you feel alright. Take the first step to fitness, even if it's just a little. Soon you'll be feeling just as fit as a fiddle.
Community Health Partners want you to be as fit as a fiddle.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start March 11th. Call 270-259-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Hey guys, it's Ashley. Sorry I missed your call. Please leave me a message.
That's Ashley's voice that I hear. And that's the only thing that the drunk driver has left me with.
Teresa Martinez will never forget the morning a police officer and a coroner showed up at her door.
And he placed my daughter's necklace and my daughter's ring in my hand. And that's when I knew that my daughter was gone.
Drive sober, Kentucky, because drunk driving is a dead end.
Paid with funds to the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Do you know what red flags to look for when considering an investment opportunity? Fraudulent sellers might make unsolicited contact, tell you everyone is buying it, and pressure you to invest right now. They make hefty promises over the phone, but never put them in writing. At the Department of Financial Institutions, we have a saying. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. We're on a mission to educate Team Kentucky and protect your hard-earned dollars. Visit us online at kfi.ky.gov for more information.
Automakers are scaling back or delaying their electric vehicle plans as EV euphoria seems to be cooling. Aaron Royale reports.
A return to a mixed offering of vehicles, gas-powered hybrids and fully electric, are what major auto manufacturers like Ford, GM, and Stellantis are all pivoting towards. None of these automakers has officially announced changes to their long-term EV goals, but there's been a notable shift in messaging. High interest rates, surging raw material costs, and EVs becoming more expensive than gas-powered cars has slowed their adoption rate. According to Cox Automotive, the available inventory of EVs in the U.S. has ballooned to 136 days compared to 78 days for the overall industry.
Google's DeepMind is introducing a new artificial intelligence gaming agent. SEMA can follow instructions to perform tasks across video game environments. So far, it has been trained on 9 games to learn general skills and commands. And former Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin is putting together a bid to buy TikTok. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield, NBC News.
Today is the Ides of March. It's the marking the date of the assassination of Julius Caesar. It's World Sleep Day. Hopefully you haven't already done the only amount you'll get to do today. You probably get to do some again late tonight. It's Dumbstruck Day. It's Everything You Think Is Wrong Day. But don't worry. Tomorrow is Everything You Do Is Right Day. So you just got to get through today to get to tomorrow. Which is really what you have to do most days, is get through this one to get to the next one.
Amen.
Tomorrow, Corn Dog Day. Tomorrow's Lips Appreciation Day, so do something nice for your lips and kiss somebody. But their lips need to think it's nice too. You can't just, you can't voluntarily do that. And Sunday is St. Patrick's Day, an Irish holiday for over 1,500 years. It's Corned Beef and Cabbage Day on Sunday. and Submarine Day. Okay, not the sandwich, the actual vessel. Be careful, Sam. Your car insurance company may know how you drive every trip you make.
Good for them.
Have you been one of those people that got one of those devices to get the
No.
discount? You know, you put it in your car and they're able to see
No.
your improper takeoffs and your stops and your speeding, etc. Your vehicle may be sharing data on your driving habits with third parties, affecting your insurance rate. We know for some time that the companies have offered incentives for drivers who authorize devices that monitor their driving, but data is also taken wirelessly from internet-connected vehicles without the driver's knowledge. Kia, Mitsubishi, and Hyundai have a driving score. Honda and Acura have driver feedback, and GM has OnStar Smart Driver. So they are selling that data. And your insurance company, you may not be telling your insurance company that they can do it, but they may be buying your data on the secondary market and then being able to go, I don't think Sam's very safe. He tends to drift in his lane, lots. And so we might just coincidentally have to charge him a little more for his premium. Fair or foul, Sam?
It has no impact on me because I'm a fairly good driver, so it's not
I'm
like
a good driver. Oh, only on the driveway. A good driver. Rain Man.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I don't have one of those little. I think like there is a couple of insurance companies that have it looks like a flash drive almost that stays in your car. I don't have one of those, so.
I mean, if you drive, if you're confident in your driving and your safety and your speed and your takeoffs, etc., then and you can qualify for an additional discount, you want to save a few dollars, then knock yourself out. Some people want to do that, some people don't. Brown bagging it is over. Workers are no longer bringing a lunch from home, despite inflation, calling it a thing of the past. So a lot of brown baggers always said that it was about saving money. Yes. And there is obviously a cost savings. But it's not cheap to feed yourself at home anymore either.
No.
Because when you look at the price of, say you just eat a healthy choice, dinner time selection or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, currently that's $4. So if you have anything else that goes along with that, you're up into the $6, $7, $8 range, whatever it might be. But what it has proven to be is what it has turned out to be is a lot of lunchbox people or carrying the lunch pail had to do with access or time. Because if I get 30 minutes for lunch, or even if I get an hour and it takes me 15 minutes to get somewhere, I have to get my lunch ordered, I have to get it, I have to get back to work, and I have to manage to eat it in that time. But DoorDash and Grubhub have solved that aspect of the algebraic equation, and now it's just strictly a financial decision. So people say, if I'm going to spend the money at home, I might as well spend it out, and especially if they'll bring it to me and put it on my desk, and that'll be that. So
I can see that.
It's changed us a lot.
Easy.
It's not for me, but my tuna kits are really easy.
They're not too hard to throw in.
You throw them in a bag, and sometimes they're in the bottom of my purse.
Right. Sometimes they're there for quite some time.
They get eaten.
Yeah, I get it. A French linguist has controversially claimed that the English language doesn't exist and is just badly pronounced French. A linguistics professor from Lyon, see, I speak French, I said that correctly, Lyon, points out that the English language uses thousands of words taken from French about 1,000 years ago. French gave English essential vocabulary that of law, trade, spirituality, art, and government, according to this professor. If English is a prestigious international language today, it is thanks to French. We get a whole lot of our language from Latin, too, or at least our legal language. So I don't know about the French in that. Examples of English words with their origin in French include accuse, bacon, enemy, surrender, people, chivalry, majesty, fashion, and wicket. However, many of the current spellings of these words are different from the original French, not to mention the pronunciation. And there are words that are coming back to the French language that have the English pronunciation that started in the French, they quit using. We turned them into English, and now the French are bringing them back in. So is this just a melding of the languages, perhaps?
I think so.
We wouldn't have, for instance, the French version is Henri. We just call him Henry. Henri. So this is kind of neat. A daughter accidentally sees her parents' texts after 24 years of marriage. Her name is Piper, and she said that she was on a flight home. The 23-year-old content creator recorded a precious interaction between her mom and her dad and posted it online for her followers to see. Says, I accidentally read my dad's text to my mom while flying home from my grandparents. Apparently, her dad, Rob, texted, would you like an iced oat milk latte waiting for you in the car when I pick you up? You are so sweet, Verena typed in her reply. And the girl goes on to say, it's just the little things of him anticipating her needs and wants, knowing that her habits are getting a coffee when she lands after a long flight. Knowing a person so well is just such a true form of love. So, yeah, good for them. Good for her. Way to go, Piper. Now, conversely, Amina Sanad, 29 years of age, she was involved with a man, and while they were involved, she decided that she would find a website where she could send him future letters for the next 10 years on special occasions. Anniversaries, birthdays, just special dates, notes of love, notes to their future selves. And she said, I figured if we ever broke up, I could just cancel them. Unfortunately, I got locked out of the email account that I'd used for this website, so the letters have outlived our relationship. And for the next 10 years, he's going to continue getting notes of affection from her.
I think it's pretty awesome.
I think it's pretty
Right?
awesome, but
I
it
think it's pretty awesome.
begs the question, does he have to change his email address?
Or is this a letter, like in the mail?
Right. Yeah.
Does he have to
these are
move?
I think these are I think these are emails, but maybe not. Let's see what it says.
Well, if it's just an email, that's easy enough to
Future
stop.
Well, it says here on the picture that they have supplied us. It says that I thought I would marry my ex, so I found a website to write him letters from the past. Which I read as like physically
Yes.
with penmanship, if I could talk.
So does she sit outside his house
And try to
and wait for the mail to be delivered? You know, every time one is in, like, retrieve it out of the mailbox?
Oh, man.
Does he stamp it return to sender? Return to sender. All right. It's kind of odd. A Florida homeowner shared surveillance video of a man in an Amazon vest replacing a package with an empty box. It happened March 5th in Florida. A Ring doorbell captured a FedEx driver delivering an iPhone from AT&T, and the driver even took a photo as a receipt of the successful delivery. About 15 minutes later, someone else approached the front door. The outfit looked very convincing, he said. The man who approached his home was wearing a hat and Amazon vest. Video showed the FedEx package being replaced with an empty open box by the man in the Amazon vest before he ran away. The theft was reported to the sheriff's office. There is no current update, but that's the funny thing about it is I don't know how many Amazon drivers go creeping around a corner, you know, like waiting to see if anybody's looking. But this person was just waiting to see, hey, is the coast clear? So this is a porch piracy to a whole new level, I suppose. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got plenty more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. Any leftover scattered showers will move out this afternoon as temperatures hover in the 50s and the low 60s. For tomorrow, plenty of sunshine with highs in the 60s across our region. Getting into your Sunday, a cold front could bring a small rain chance, otherwise a mix of sun and clouds, highs in the 50s. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Did you know before clocks were common, the terms Deosil and Widdershins were what we use for clockwise and counterclockwise. Deosil, D-E-O-S-I-L, and Widdershins, W-I-D-D-E-R-S-H-I-N-S.
I like the second one.
Yeah. Do you think there's a chance that in a few years Lexington will name their baseball team the Widdershins?
Luckily, they're back to the Legends.
I mean, counterclocks didn't stick, but maybe they'll try and trick people. We're going to be the Widdershins and hope no one will figure it out.
Yeah,
I will tell you.
Never really understood that decision to move the name.
Reese the Niece's mom and dad, Reese the Niece and Reese the Niece's mom and dad were all very adamant about being unhappy about counterclocks because they were big Legends fans.
So were they anti-counterclock then?
They weren't happy about it. But so I assume they rejoiced when they reversed their decision and went back to the Legends. Weekend movie premieres. New at the box office if you're headed out. A R-rated mystery thriller called Love Lies Bleeding. Kristen Stewart, Ed Harris. A PG-13 drama adventure called Arthur the King. That's Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, I at least know who he is.
Much in an adventure film. And then a PG-13 comedy fantasy called The American Society of Magical Negroes. It's Justice Smith, Zachary Barton, and Anthony Coons. Never heard of it before just now. A lot of people on Sunday will be anxiously awaiting Selection Sunday to see what teams are going where.
When does that begin?
Is it 6 or 5 on Sunday?
5
o'clock
Central.
on
Because
Sunday.
I'll know what's happening at that time with you.
You'll 100% know. The first 4 will start Tuesday. Then the tournament starts in earnest on Thursday. And the research says that the average person, a survey of 2,000 basketball fans aged 21 plus, shows over the next 3 weeks they'll spend a total of 36 hours completely consumed by the sport during March Madness.
I'm over.
Yes, you're an overachiever.
13 hours watching games, 3 hours creating brackets, 5
Oh.
hours discussing it with family and friends.
Goodness.
Okay, so
5
that's
hours, 5 hours engaging with online content, 5 hours watching highlights, 3 hours placing bets.
5 hours of highlights?
That's what it says.
That seems strong.
Over 3 weeks, I don't know. And I don't know how they decided that too.
Unless, like, does that count of, you go back and you watch the 2014 run to get you ready for Kentucky, or you go back and watch, or like Matt Jones has to do, he has to go back and watch the 2015 Wisconsin game.
Oh, yeah, rough. I guess I'm curious to know how there has always been a madness in the Commonwealth this time of year. Whether, if you're a UK fan, you have the tendency to just go ahead and fill them in and then work your bracket backward, which has not been wise. It hasn't been the smart play, but it's typically the emotional play. So there is no need to gin up excitement about the tournament. But I am curious to know that if you could study the influence that sports gambling is going to have on that 3 weeks, like you factor in the normal frenzy, then you factor in the people who do choose sports wagering on games that they typically would not involve themselves in. But the underdogs become bigger, and the in-game parlays and that type of thing. It's our first March Madness where that is legalized in Kentucky and extremely accessible. So it will be curious to know the outcome as a result.
I know. I don't know how much actual sports gambling I'll be doing. I mean, but I can't wait. I love it. Next week is one of the best sports weeks of the entire year.
As I told you, I think this time last week, this period that we're in, is just wonderful. The spring period as it comes to sports. If you do not want to pay any attention to March Madness or Selection Sunday or the conference tournaments this weekend, here are some, this says 10 movies to watch on St. Patrick's Day. Darby O'Gill and the Little People, Belfast, In the Name of the Father, Leprechaun, The Luck of the Irish, The Secret of Kells, The Banshees of Inisherin. That's newer. That's the Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson movie. It's probably pretty good. Sing Street, The Departed. I don't really think of The Departed as being an Irish movie or a St. Patrick's Day movie. And Gangs of New York, Daniel Day-Lewis, the Martin Scorsese film. So that's something that
I know Luck of the Irish.
The Luck of the Irish.
That's a Disney. I'm pretty sure that's a Disney movie.
It is?
It is.
Okay.
Unless there is it very well could be more than one movie via that title.
Yep, Disney Channel original movie.
Yep, it's about a kid who I think he finds out he's a leprechaun, but he plays basketball.
Okay.
I mean, it has been 20 years since I've seen that movie.
Is he the spokesperson for Lucky Charms?
I don't know that he isn't.
They are magically delicious, in case you didn't know. The 15 best Irish songs to listen to on St. Patrick's Day. So these are the Pogues. And the lead singer does need to see a dentist.
Wow, in the worst way.
This is called Dirty Old Town. Wow, I can't even hardly look at him. I can't even hardly look at him. Molly Malone by the Dubliners. Not digging it?
No.
I mean, I just thought anybody would like a song called Molly Malone. What about old Danny Boy? The pipes are calling. This is Celtic Woman and Danny Boy. Going up top.
Coming soon to the Cook Ranch.
I think this is on the Cook Ranch label.
I don't know that it isn't.
Oh, Danny Boy. Okay, let's go to, this one. This is YouTube, Sunday Bloody Sunday. All right, and...
Oh, my.
I know this doesn't necessarily make you think of St. Patrick's Day. But if you've ever seen the video, it's sort of a celebration of the history of Ireland. So on Sunday, I'm sure there'll be people who are jumping around.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Get it down. Got to get to a break. We'll come back, kick off the weekend coming up here on In the Know.
It's subtle enough that you don't think about it very often, but it's profound enough that trouble ensues when it's missing. Take, for example, the chess match between 33-year-old Magnus Carlsen, a grandmaster from Norway, and the 2,500th ranked player in the world from Kazakhstan. Carlsen was expected to defeat his lower-ranked opponent with ease. Instead, Carlsen was blown out in just 31 moves. How? Carlsen says his problem started early in the match when he noticed his opponent was wearing a watch. According to tournament rules, it is a violation to bring, quote, forbidden gadgets into the playing hall. This includes wallets, pins, and, you guessed it, watches. With today's technology, players can secretly receive outside help during competition, including near-perfect moves generated by artificial intelligence. Once considered a gentleman's game, suspicion and paranoia now grip the sport. In a statement, Grandmaster Carlsen pointed out the negative consequences a sport, an organization, or a culture faces when integrity vanishes. Without integrity, personal and professional relationships erode, trust breaks down, and reputations become tarnished. Integrity matters. It forms the bedrock of our character and is essential to our well-being as individuals and communities. For more to help you thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten.
Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Do you have an idea for a book? Fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
EMB's point to ponder for today. I was pondering this morning if St. Patrick's Day was the biggest drinking holiday of the year. I would have thought that it was, and it is not. And not only is it not, I was surprised at what they say now is. The day before Thanksgiving, apparently, is now.
That is a popular one.
Never considered. I know that, especially with college students, because everyone's home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the Friendsgivings are coming in, and so it turns into that. And then New Year's Eve, then St. Patrick's Day, then Cinco de Mayo. So that's the order. But I was, there are other things, to me, Cinco de Mayo and that Wednesday before Thanksgiving, those things seem to me to be created just specifically for that, or at least that's what most people use them as an excuse for. But St. Patrick's Day is different. There are other things you can celebrate on St. Patrick's Day without having to partake. And, same with New Year's Eve, except for maybe a little, cider toast or something like that. On television tonight. Oh, wait, I do want to remind Good News Jeopardy fans.
Oh.
Why are you owing? Why are you
I love
owing?
it. You're okay.
You're speaking to your people now.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Well, no, so I sat with them last night. Sam. Well, more than last night.
Multiple evenings
Yes,
this week, she has been around during the Jeopardy hour. You know how I got her in, Sam? Wheel of Fortune. I leveraged Wheel of Fortune into a Jeopardy view because she enjoys Wheel of Fortune. And she also enjoys making fun of the contestants that go, "What are you doing?"
Is Seacrest there yet?
No, not yet. No, not yet.
See?
But on Jeopardy, I have been wondering. They've been
Forgot
doing
about
this,
that.
Tournament of Champions, and they've been doing the Second Chance Tournament, et cetera. So I've been wondering, what are they going to do next? Because they don't exactly. Well, they know now, but at the time when they started out, they didn't know exactly how many games would take place. Because in these finals, it's the first person to win 3 games wins. Well, if one person won the first 3, it's over. But now they each have 1 win, so it goes to at least Monday. So it'll be today and at least Monday. But now I know on Tuesday what they're doing. The Jeopardy Invitational Tournament, and I did not get an invitation. It will debut the day after the current Tournament of Champions concludes. It will feature champions and fan favorite trivia masters battling for $100,000. The list of competitors includes Internet's favorite Jeopardy competitor, Austin Rogers, as well as the players who finished 4th, 5th, and 6th in the Masters tournament. So Andrew He, Amy Schneider, and Sam Buttrey. Sam is great. Most Sams are. But Sam Buttrey is especially good and entertaining on Jeopardy.
So does
You
this
know
give
you're
it?
an
Does
insider when you
this
can call it
does this give us a spoiler then that somebody's going to win 2 games in a row now?
No, it just says whenever it concludes.
Oh, I thought you
It
said
doesn't
this.
say when
I
it's
thought you
beginning.
said the second one begins on Tuesday, which tells you that Friday, Monday, probably back-to-back wins.
Let me read that again, but I don't think that I did that. I know that the current tournament has to go through Monday because mathematically, if they all have 1, then somebody
Yeah,
wins the
see,
next
and
2
then I
when they
thought you said
finish.
that the next one begins Tuesday, which to me then tells me that, spoiler alert.
In my mind might have put that.
Well, good that there's not a spoiler then.
The one guy is in a stool, is in a chair, and I haven't figured out why. I haven't taken to find out. I really didn't know that was allowed, so I'm more fascinated with it than anything. Fire Country is on CBS tonight. 2020 is on ABC tonight. The SNL is a rerun tomorrow night. Dakota Johnson and Justin Timberlake. For Sunday, the selection show is at 5. American Idol comes on at 6, I think, maybe 7. And then CSI Vegas is on. All right, everybody up. Gather around for a moment. Got to have a bit of a campfire.
Okay.
If you're watching, so if you're YouTubing, Facebooking, etc., if you're watching, we're about to have to start doing something a little different during Chart Toppers, and it's because we can't work out the rights issue on the protected content. And I'm not willing to give up Chart Toppers in the show, but we're getting flagged by YouTube, and so the show isn't visible because there's so much protected content. So if you're watching going forward, you're probably going to miss Chart Toppers.
And probably at that point would probably just be smart just to end the stream before Chart Toppers, correct? We haven't talked about this, but
then people would miss the Pearl of Wisdom, and I think they can't go through. I think they can't go on through life without the Pearl of Wisdom.
Well, if you want me to keep it,
I had the same thought. I had the same thought you're having, but I have decided, at least for now, let's keep it going.
Okay.
So at least there's an explanation to why the video is silent. Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. Because we'll surely get flagged. Pearl of Wisdom. Is everybody back, Sam?
They are now.
Okay, very good. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. You missed some great chart toppers. And you can listen to the live audio stream on K105.com. There's the app. Both stations have an app. You can get it. So, although the WMTL app has got the Sweet 16 currently. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today is an Irish proverb, so I thought it was appropriate today. May the road rise up to meet you. May the road rise up to meet you. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here on Monday for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin